In the late 1990s, the World Sports Exchange pioneered online sports gambling based in the Caribbean. As a reporter for the Wall Street Journal at the time, I wrote a story about that company before the principals were indicted for illegal gambling and violating the 1960s-era Wire Act. Joining us right now is Jay Cohen. He is the founder and former president of World Sports Exchange. Jay and I hadn't spoken in over 25 years until last week. And Jay, I just want to say welcome. It's good to see you.
Good morning, Becky. It's great to speak to you again after 25 years.
Yeah. This goes back a long way. I kind of think of it as you being the guy who helped come up with DraftKings before DraftKings. At the time, it was a really interesting and exciting time on the Internet. You were a trader at the Pacific Stock Exchange. You and your partner left and moved to Antigua, where you set up a gambling operation, a sports online book. It was actually more than just sports, an online bookie guy, basically. And you were doing things that were legal in Antigua. You thought you had the right to do this there.
Yes, absolutely. We were licensed and regulated by the government of Antigua. We didn't just wake up one day and say, hey, let's become criminals. We wanted to do this as legal as could be. And we checked with lawyers and accountants, et cetera. And the model was set up Antigua, be licensed in Antigua, and be wholly located in Antigua. All of our servers were in Antigua. All of our operations were in Antigua. So that's how we ran it from there. And you're right, it wasn't just a sports book. It was a full-fledged sports book and sports futures market. And we even offered betting on games in progress during play to the end of the game and other propositions throughout play, like who will score next, what will the next play be, what will the next score be, a field goal, a touchdown, a pass, a run play. We were doing it all over 25 years ago.
Why did you think that the United States wouldn't go after you if you were taking money from customers in the United States?
Well, before my prosecution, the Justice Department was widely quoted in multiple publications saying that if we're offshore, it's out of their jurisdiction. So I didn't come up with that. That was out there by the Department of Justice in Washington, D.C. It wasn't until the law firm for the sports leagues encouraged their connections at the Southern District U.S. Attorney's Office to change the position of the Department of Justice.
I mean, I think it's kind of fascinating just how the leagues themselves have really changed their opinions on this and have embraced online gambling at this point. What happened? You were indicted and you came back to face charges thinking what?
I came back. I said, this is ridiculous. No judge will let this stand. I'm going to fight this. And then I drew, let's just say I drew an unfavorable judge. I felt like it was a directed verdict. I invite anyone to read the transcript and draw their own conclusions. But for the first major Internet trial of the 21st century, to have the judge's first two questions be, what's a mouse, what's a cursor, in 2001, I think kind of set the tone for the whole thing. But again, read his jury instructions at the end, and you'll see that the jury had no choice. As a matter of fact, one of the jurors came up to me immediately after the trial and said, we want to acquit you, but we felt the judge gave us no choice. And from there, once you're in the system, in the federal pipeline, that's kind of the way it goes down from there. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, you served time, and it's been really hard for you to get a job or be able to do anything since then. What do you think when you see the way sports gambling has been embraced at this point?
Well, it's comical to me. I mean, we certainly would have been opening to partnering with the sports leagues back then, but they acted like we were the devil. We were the devil on earth. They wouldn't have any part of sports betting. Now they're teaming up, pairing up with all the major sports books, and basically offering some of the very products that my partner Steve Hayden and I invented in 1997. The live betting on games, that was our product. And by the way, to this day, they still don't do it right. They're leaving a lot of money on the table. but that's for another discussion. But the point is that they're doing everything that we invented and were doing in real time for real money in 1997, while other sites were still talking about traffic and clicks, and we were doing financial transactions. We were moving money back then. These sites today, I actually on a whim, I applied to a job at DraftKings to manage a team of NFL live traders at DraftKings, and I got the standard rejection. We found someone with more experience for a product that I invented or co-invented.
What do you think could and should be done differently with online gambling, or you kind of admire the way it's rolled out?
Well, I admire the way it's rolled out, except for that I'm not part of it anymore. That's what could be done differently. I mean, they drove me out of business and some others, and now the big boys are playing, and they chased us out. They chased away the competition.
You have hopes to eventually work in this business again?
I am not itching to get back in and starting on my own again. I mean, I don't want to be another one of these startups who are more proud of what round of financing they're in than how much business they're actually doing. I mean, we were actually doing business back then. But, I mean, if some giant came to me, if, say, Elon Musk came to me and said, I'd like you to fire up and run X sportsbook and casino, I mean, we can hit the ground running. We still have the software and the team, so we could do it with him better than anyone else. But no, I'm not looking to crawl back and fight against all the majors at this point.